Good morning, welcome to Rockfish Farm. So today I am riding Reese's Pieces. This is one of her first full training sessions with me, and I need to work on a lot of bending with her. She's pretty stiff. So I've been doing a lot of flexing with her, but I wanted to share with you one of the warm-ups that I do, and it is called, I call it letter circles. And so you use your dressage letters that are around your arena. If you don't have them, just pick some spots and do your circles there. But I call them letter circles, especially for the kids. They love to do these, and it really helps them understand like a bend. So we are basically, when you get to a letter, you're going to do a circle to the inside, and then you're going to get back on the rail, go to the next letter, and do a circle at the next letter. So I'm doing probably maybe a 5 meter circle. I mean, it's pretty small. You can do them any size that you want. When you're first starting out, you can start bigger, and then when they get more supple and you get better at it, you can do them a little bit smaller. So I am doing these as part of my warm-up every single day. It really gets your horse to think. It gets it, listening to your legs and all of the aids that you're giving it. So the hands, the feet, and it works on releasing anxiety too, because you're doing these small circles, you're getting them thinking, and when they bend their rib cage, they blow out air. When they blow out air, they are releasing any tension and anxiety. So it's prepping them for the ride. So I'm just going to give a little explanation on how I do this, and then I'm going to let you watch me. You're being a good girl. I do wear spurs for this when I am in what I call training mode, because I don't wear them all the time and I don't have the kids wear them. But when I'm in training mode, spurs will help get that lateral movement, that bend in the leg. It'll get it a little bit easier for you. Can you do it without spurs? Absolutely, yes. But if you have a horse that is dead to your leg cues, the spurs will kind of wake them up and get them listening, and it gets them to think about it a little bit quicker, and it gets them to catch on a little bit quicker. And it does get that bend in their rib cage, which is what we're looking for. So how are we doing this? We are holding on. I usually hold right at the stitching. So this is not an on the buckle exercise. You can do it that way if you want to. I do this at the walk and then also at the trot. I typically don't do this at the canter, not that small anyways. So every time I get to a letter, whether it's broken or not, you do a little circle to the inside. So you're going to kind of half halt with your outside rein, but more importantly, you're going to supple with the inside rein. So suppling obviously means you take your rein and you are just going like this. Okay, you're squeezing it like a sponge. And so what that is going to do is that's going to bring her nose to the inside. And suppling gives little tiny pulls and releases. Okay, so every time she gives to the bit, I'm releasing. Okay, and she's going to start going around in a circle. There. Okay. So we've got our hands ready, okay? So we're gonna supple with the inside rein to get her nose to the inside of the circle. You can do it as much of a bend or as little of a bend as you want to. Start bigger, then move to smaller as they learn. So when they're gonna learn that pressure, okay, you're gonna see the inside of their nose as they're bringing it, okay? You can even do a smaller circle to really get them to bring their nose in. Every time she brings it in a little bit and gets off that bit, I'm releasing. Ah, there we go. So she comes in pretty far. All right, so once you get a little bit of that nose coming in, and you can practice that a little bit if you need to also, but they should come up off that bit, right? So every time they do, you're gonna give a little release. Now, adding your leg, you're going to add your inside leg right at the girth, and what that is going to do, especially with the spur, is to bend their rib cage to the outside. So it'll kind of be like they're on the curve of the circle and turning. Don't know if that helped you or not. I'm going to show you here in just a second, but you want to put your inside leg on so that they're not following their nose completely. Their nose is coming into the circle, but their rib cage is going to the out of the circle, and it's almost like they're taking their legs and crossing over. Okay, not only is this going to help with this exercise and get them nice and supple, but it's going to help you with your corners in your dressage test too. So it's teaching them also to move over off that leg. You're going to move that rib cage off the leg. So let me set you up and I'm going to show you how to do it. So as we approach the letter, we're going to pass it and then start suppling to the inside and putting our inside leg on. You can see she's trying to figure out what I'm asking her to do. So give them that time to figure it out. Do I need to stop, go? What am I doing here? So give them a chance. As I come back past the letter, I'm going to release all the pressure and let them just kind of have a moment in between the letters, and then I would go on to the next letter. For the sake of the video, I'm just going to focus on filming this letter right here. So I'm passing it, and you can see she's starting to figure it out. I'm putting that inside rein on, or leg on, I'm sorry, and she's starting to cross her legs. So she's starting to figure it out here, and then I didn't take that pressure off with that spur. So I was holding it, and that's why she was like, get off me. So remember, your leg pressure needs to release too. So put your leg on with each step and push them over. So I'm going to start doing a little bit bigger of a circle here to help her find the answer a little bit better. She is starting to step her legs over. You can see right here she's starting to figure it out and cross and over. Circles are not perfect, but it's okay. Again, we're going to release all the pressures, legs and hands, and go on to our next letter. She's getting better with each circle. I'm not expecting perfection today, but as you build on this every single day, they'll get better and better and lighter in that hand. She's pretty stiff on my inside hand here, and it's always great to kind of take a moment and step back and do this at the slower gaits because it helps you at the faster gaits also. And have you ever ridden a horse that's just dead to the leg? I mean, you can't get them to do anything. You can't get them to bend at all. And they're so stiff. And so coming back to these lower, slower gaits and reviewing this and putting that spur on and kind of reiterating what you want out of that pressure, it really helps your horse understand better. And then it's going to ultimately help your rides. So obviously I'm using the entire ring, but for the sake of the video, I was just doing the one letter. I do it to both directions. Again, I'll do it at the walk and the trot, but I wanted to show you at the walk, and then now I'll show you at the trot. She obviously has not done much of this, and so I'm starting with that bigger circle and just doing little bits of her stepping her foot over, and then eventually you can get smaller and smaller and she'll understand. But man, you can see she's a little bit stickier to the right side rather than the left. But that'll come with time of doing that every single day. And it's really going to get them to listen to bend around your leg, especially that spur when having that on there. So let's pick up the trot and try this at the trot. Again, this is not, perfection here, and you don't have to be looking for perfection either, but you do want to build upon it every single day, and eventually it will be pretty darn good, and they'll be listening to your leg and bending their rib cage and moving over their shoulders, moving over their hindquarters, and stepping over their feet to get those turns a little bit better. But again, you got to have a starting point. So let's try this at the trot. So same thing in the trot. I am going to pass the letter and then start suppling to the inside. You can see she's a little bit stiffer here. She keeps bobbing her head up and down, and that is because I'm asking her to move up into that bridle a little bit, and I've never asked her to do that. And so she's trying to find that answer. She's not holding it, but she's finding that answer. And so she's doing really good, and she's trying really hard for me. She's having a hard time finding the suppleness, and so I'm going to make these circles a little bit bigger. So I'm going to go off camera here a little bit, but I'm making them pretty big so that I can really get her to find that answer so she feels like she understands what's happening here. And that's just the goal for today, not perfection, obviously. So it's not about just turning the horse in a circle. It is about getting that bend to the inside and then getting them to move their rib cage off of your inside leg. And here at the trot,
she's a lot stiffer. And so she's not really getting that rib cage bent the way I need her to. But each day we'll build upon it and we'll get a little bit. You can see here after a couple circles, she starts to understand and she starts to take some steps, crossing those front legs over a little bit and really moving. You can really see a difference with some of these circles here.
So in the trot, you can see she's a little bit stiffer. Her head comes up a little higher. I've got to work a little harder to get her into that nice little frame there where she's kind of putting her butt up underneath of her and really listening to my leg cues. But again, this is really the first time I've asked her to do that. So that really wasn't half bad. Again, she's stiffer to the right hand side, of course. So I did practice that a little bit more. You could spend a little bit more time on their off side, but make sure to do both sides each time that you ride. So each time, again, this will get better and better and they'll get softer and softer. She's a little stiff in that mouth when I'm kind of pulling to the inside, especially at the trot. There's other ways that you can work on that too, but this is a great one. So by just giving her that release, don't forget to just not pull constantly. You have to have, even if it's just a little give, you have to have that give to kind of tell them, yes, you found the answer I was looking for. I wanted you to bend your nose to the inside. And so obviously over time that'll get better. So hope you enjoyed this today. I hope you'll add this as part of your warm-up routine. If you got questions, leave them for me down below, and we'll see you next time.